Singapore wakes up. Wake up, Glenn, Angel, and the Flying Dutchman.
Wake up in the morning feeling like
Kiss 92's Big Show.
Welcome to Therapy Tuesday with Dr. Geraldine Tan from the Therapy Room. Good morning, Jerry.
Morning, and I am really calling in from the therapy room. Woohoo!
Wow, you're in a cheery mood this morning.
The audio works. It's amazing. The audio works.
I know. After so many years, we finally got it right.
Yeah. And I mean, she's so comfortable in her office, you see.
Yeah.
And right after this session with us, you can, start seeing your patients right away. But you have been coming into the studio for the past 2-3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And we appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Anyways.
but we sorted it out.
Jerry,
Yes.
today we're talking about extroverts and introverts.
Introverts, and it's supposed to be Daphne's topic because last week she was talking about it.
Yes.
So I said, okay, this week I would do it, and then I found out, oh no, she's on leave.
Nah,
Yes.
don't worry
That's
about
okay.
it.
That's all right. We
Yeah,
can
that's
still
okay.
do it.
Next week she's coming in.
Yeah.
She'll be sitting in for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But this week she's not, but it's okay. I think all of us are very curious whether we are introverts or extroverts. And we had that conversation last week about, Daphne saying that she's an extroverted introvert, which
yeah.
I thought it was quite interesting.
Is there such a
So-
thing, though?
So there is extrovert, introvert, and then there's ambivert. So those that cannot
Ambivert.
those that cannot classify themselves in either category. So it's quite interesting. So extroverted people tend to love a lot of like big group events. They love a lot of like social interaction. I see the fingers going on there. Yeah.
But not all the time, though. But I can. I like
Majority
it
of
when
the
I'm out there.
time.
But the
that's
minute
you.
you're put in that situation, Glenn,
You shine.
and from outside you shine.
Yeah.
You shine like a
Shine
a
bright
disco
like a
ball.
diamond.
Why, though?
I don't know, but you just shine. You come into your own.
That's where your energy is pulled from, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the energy comes from that whole from people. So the extroverts receive energy from people. Introverts need to be by themselves. They love a lot of solitary or a lot of solitude or sort of work, even learning. Yeah, so they love to be by themselves. That does not mean that they cannot be in big groups, but we'll come to that. Now, ambivert find it very difficult. They seem to want the best of both worlds, So they can be outgoing. They can be at some time, their mood shifts and they want to be alone.
Right.
Yeah, so they are a bit of a confused bunch.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's continue to
Yeah.
talk to Jerry on the Big Show TV. Here's Sabrina Carpenter with Feather on Kiss 92. Okay.
Jerry, this whole thing about being an ambivert, right? So
Yeah.
a lot of entertainers love being on stage.
Yeah.
But when we are off stage, we love our quiet, solitary moments.
Like comedians as well.
Like comedians.
Yeah.
Are we ambiverts then?
So the ambiverts enjoy the best of both worlds. So if we are talking about presentations, we're talking about something scripted, we're talking about you and your work. That presentation just happened to have a lot of people in front of you. So you may still be an introvert. So you might have a number of presenters, entertainers being introverts, but do spectacularly in their work. Yeah, so they are brilliant on stage because they know their work. They know their script and they deliver their work and their script brilliantly.
So I
Okay.
can still be an entertainer and an introvert.
Of course.
Because you can like just turn it on,
Because
right? Like
I know,
actors as
I
well.
know what I'm
Yeah.
doing. I'm scripted. I'm ready.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
You become someone else almost.
Like
Yes.
the two performers, as in like singers, right? Okay, so we've got Joshua Simon, who
Yeah.
apart from being a radio presenter, also makes music and could possibly go out there and perform.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
I've spoken to him on many occasions, and he swears he's an introvert, and I'm like, you're a performer. How can you be an introvert,
can,
right?
though.
And then Daphne mentioned that
Yeah.
last week as
Yeah.
well. She mentioned that she was an extrovert, introvert, and all that. And I was thinking, like, is that possible
Yeah.
for a musician, who should be an extrovert
Yeah,
to be an introvert?
Because I feel like once you step onto that stage, you become somebody else. The lights go on, and then you take on this whole different persona. Like Daphne has her own stage name as well, right? Haneri,
Haneri.
Millenary, or something. And you look at comedians like your Robin Williams and people like that.
Classic,
Classic
yeah.
extroverts when performing, but very, very
Very-
reserved when they're on their own, right? Or off stage.
So
Yeah, so
go ahead, Jerry.
no. Many big personalities are also introverts. So if you do a quick Google, Google will tell you some of the introverted personalities. So one of my favorite would be Barack Obama. So he is actually an introverted person. But you can see how warm his personality is when he needs to engage with people. But
So-
it does take a lot from him.
So how do we find out what we are? Because I feel like I'm also introverted until I need to be extroverted.
That's exactly how I feel.
We make an appointment with Dr.
Dr.
Geraldine
Geraldine
Tan from Therapy Room.
We can finally get
bet-
on your
I
couch.
bet you she'll say, Angel, you're welcome. Boys, no.
Yeah.
No,
So
also
first
no.
of all, extroverted, introversion, ambiverts, these are not diagnosable clinical disorders or anything like that. So you can take surveys, you can take personality tests. So many people, many young ones love to go on the internet to do tests. I think very trending now is the MBTI. They love to get their 4 letters. A lot of them love to get their 4 letters. Myers-Briggs. Yeah, so the Myers-Briggs inventory, and they like to get like a INTJ or something like that, So all of them love to get their 4 letters, which tells them whether they are introvert or extrovert.
Yeah, we can ask Cheyenne and Shalini. I've never heard of all
the
these.
Myers-Briggs.
have,
I'm sure they've
yeah.
all
Tests
taken
and
the
all that.
personality
Yeah.
test.
Cheyenne,
I love Myers-Briggs. I'm INTP.
What is INTP?
Introvert, intuitive. I forgot the second one. And perceiving.
N? You said N, right?
Yeah.
N?
N is for intuitive because
Oh.
you can't repeat I again. Yeah.
Right. You can't do I.
So
Yeah.
you're an I.
N.
NTP.
What's the P?
INTP.
Perceiving. So it's like you can be
Perceptive.
perceiving
Yeah.
or judging.
Perceptive,
Right.
yeah.
Oh, you're judgy, are you?
That's good.
Oh.
Shalini?
What are you? She has 4 letters, I'm sure.
I'm the judgy one. I'm INFJ.
Oh, see? Wow. Okay.
INFJ.
Yeah, I did it once. I came out in IDIOT.
There are only 5 letters.
Wait, I'm interested. What is F and what's J?
I think it's feeling and something or other. So you go by your gut feelings, or
Yeah.
you go by what you says in your brain. That kind of thing. Yeah.
Ah.
Jerry, we've got some things coming up on our Facebook that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Damien is asking, this whole
Yeah.
extrovert, introvert, are
Yes.
you born that way or is it upbringing?
So it's an innate personality trait. So introversion, extroversion is an innate personality trait. So many people, they think, for example, myself, they think that I'm very extroverted. Sorry, people, I'm very introverted, extremely introverted. So in a big crowd, unless you come up to me and say hi, I would go, this is too overwhelming. This is too much. But when I am seated at the table and I find my courage and I start to talk, suddenly I am talking. So I'm a learned extrovert.
Okay, Jerry, hold on.
Wow.
Oh.
We're going on air.
X92 traffic.
Just one area, the KJE towards the PIE, an accident after the BKE entrance, avoid lane 1. The rest of it's just your usual delays across the expressways. Please stay within the speed limit, have everyone buckled up, be safe as you drive today.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. It's Glenn Angel and the Flying Dutchman, and every Tuesday we're joined by award-winning psychologist from the therapy room, Dr. Geraldine Tan. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Jerry. We're talking about introverts and extroverts, and we came onto the Myers-Briggs MBTI, something like that.
MBTI.
I'm actually doing it right now, so you can talk to FD in the meantime.
Oh, yeah, because as they do that, Jerry, there are so many questions that are coming through on our Facebook. Yet another one is it true that introverts are easily overstimulated by external stimuli, hence they get easily tired in social situations?
Because their personality don't like a lot of people. They don't like the social part of things, right? Like all the different dynamics. So the battery tends to drain really, really fast. So you put an introvert who is at a networking session. Can they function? They can, because maybe it's part of work, maybe it's part of whatever that they need to do. But they might not be able to go for the after party, or they would need to go back and recharge themselves. So it's just a need that they have at the end of a function, after they have completed it, that they need their time, they need their peace, they need their quiet. Yeah. So, it can be various things that they would tell you, whether it's, it may be sensory stimulation, it may be over the whole space being overwhelming. Different introverts will tell you different things. So it's not one thing that would affect all of them.
Okay, because I've noticed that when we talk about introverts and extroverts, right, people look at being an introvert as a very negative thing.
But Dr. Jerry,
but
you
it's
said
not, right?
neither one is a disorder, right? You said it's not something to be diagnosed with.
No, it's not a disorder. And many of our scientists, that's why we have likes, that's why we have so many things, that we can use. Many of our scientists are introverts, and they need their space, they need their solitude to be able to function. So it's really not a bad thing. I think what people confuse it with is, introverts are shy. Introverts are anxious. Introverts are insecure. So they throw all these labels. Introverts, being introverted is just a personality trait. There's nothing wrong with it. It's like being male or female. So unless you're going to tell me that being male or female is bad, then I cannot, fight with you. But when you start associating other negativity or other negative traits with it, then it becomes bad.
Right.
Okay.
So for couples, is it more advisable for both parties to be the same? For example, like two introverts or two extroverts. Can an extrovert and an introvert, get along as a couple in the long run?
Good question.
There's nothing wrong with it, because it doesn't mean that an extroverted person doesn't need quiet time. So an extroverted partner can also enjoy quiet couple time and, the space. An introverted partner can also attend functions with the extroverted partner, just that maybe he or she may be a bit more mindful or a bit more deliberate with which ones they go for, and they don't go for every single one.
Just looking at a couple, can you tell who's the introvert and who's the extrovert? Extrovert?
Well, Glenn, when you go to a table and you start talking to to the people there, then you will be able to see, because the ones that start to answer you, the ones that keep quiet, is quite obvious for the extreme ones. But
Okay.
those that are learned extroverts,
Yeah.
those are the ones that might be a bit difficult to pick out.
Okay, I want to talk about the presidential hopefuls and their wives.
Wait. Before we do that, I've got my personality type, and
Yeah.
contrary to popular belief, there are not just 4 letters. I've got 5 letters.
I told you I was IDIOT.
We knew that already. We'll talk about it when we go on to the Big Show TV.
All right, it's 8:15.
Kiss 92 Time Check brought to you by Putian. Putian's Kitchener Road.
So
Okay.
it says my personality type is protagonist. I am ENFJT. So E stands for extroverted, 54%, and then intuitive, 66%. Feeling, which means feeling individuals value emotional expression and sensitivity, 81%, which is totally true. 72% judging. Oh God,
Okay.
really? Seriously?
No, I think we all like that.
And then 54% turbulent.
Oh.
Turbulent individuals are self-conscious and sensitive to stress, and they feel a sense of urgency in their emotions. Ooh.
Wow, that's
so
a lot.
that's me,
Oh, that's a lot
protagonist.
too.
I think you're the winner.
But that's a lot to consume.
It
Wow.
is. It is a lot. What do you think, Dr. Jerry? You think that's accurate? I mean, you know us as much as you know us, through our conversations and our time together. Do you think that's accurate? And I did it very quickly. I didn't sit and think much about it. I just did it while we were talking.
Yeah, so overarching, your personality traits don't really change.
Yeah.
But also, these are man-made tests. So even I would tell anyone that whenever you do a test, it is just a snapshot of you at that point in time.
Okay.
Okay, now let's talk about the presidential hopefuls, like I mentioned. So I'm observing, we've seen them out in public. Taman and his wife, Jane, right? I think her name is Jane
yes,
Toji, right?
Toji or something.
Yeah. And Taman comes across as introverted. She comes across as
extroverted, right?
extroverted.
Extroverted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen some of the videos, Jerry?
No, I haven't seen, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then of course there's Ng Kok Song and his wife Sybil, and for that one I feel like Ng Kok Song is the extrovert and Sybil seems to be
The introvert.
introverted.
So we tend to find partners. Okay, so let's move away a little bit from specific people, but couples tend to complement each other. So it doesn't mean that all situations both will react in the same way, and it doesn't mean that the wives will react similarly in all the different situations either. Yeah. So it's nice to see when a couple, they both are able to complement each other nicely.
Like you were saying earlier that introverts are not necessarily shy, right?
Nope.
So are
So an extrovert-
extroverts always confident?
No. So an extrovert can also be shy, and extrovert can also be insecure. So many times you have extroverted people unsure also, and that's perfectly fine.
Got it.
You know,
See, I tell
Jerry.
you, all these labels.
Yeah.
Seriously, for me, it's like if you're extroverted, right? It needs to be clear that you're an extrovert, But now it seems
but
like
It's
with
not clear.
psychology, it's never like that.
It's not clear, yeah, because there's certain
There is-
days where
yeah.
your extrovert sensory radar is not on, and then you have to be introverted as well. There are days when you
There are
don't
days
feel like
that. So we've just put up the MBTI test on our Facebook page so that people can take it. And here's the question I have for you, Jerry.
Yes.
When you take these tests,
Yes.
how much thinking needs to go into answering each question,
Yeah.
or is it just response?
as quickly as
Can
possible.
you take 4 days to do this?
So
No,
what is it? Are we
no.
supposed to think out each question, or do we just
No.
respond?
Just respond.
That's what I do,
mean,
just respond.
Yeah. but please remember to read it carefully. A lot of times the words are quite tricky. So for someone with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, you can misread. So make sure you read it like twice and know what they're asking for. Those with dyslexia can also misread or may not be able to comprehend the concepts. So they may take a little bit longer. That's perfectly fine. But for the rest of us who, have no learning issues, go for it. Just don't deliberate about it. I've got people asking me, oh, I'm like that in this situation and like that in another situation. And then they tell me 10 million situations. After that, they cannot answer the question anymore.
So don't overthink
don't do
it.
that. No,
Don't
no.
overthink it. Right. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just thinking, like, do you have a psychologist of your own,
Yeah.
Jerry?
She does. She said she did before,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, yes.
Do you have a
As in-
psychologist as well?
Someone to talk to.
Yeah, someone to talk to.
Yes.
You can't possibly
I
be
thought-
talking to yourself in the mirror, right? After
Oh
a
no,
hard
that
day's
would
work.
be that would be freaky. So I said it before and I'll say it again, like, psychologists have their own psychologists, and I love to share this story. One of the teens, when I told it to him, went, oh my God, my psychologist has a grand psychologist. And I said, yes, and your
Grand
grand
psychologist.
psychologist has a great grand psychologist, which made him very tickled and very pleased.
Yeah, because that makes you human, right? I mean, that makes your patients know that you too sometimes need help
Yeah.
or someone
yeah.
to talk to.
All of us. So we want to move away from only going to the psychologist when you have a clinical disorder. You will want to do checkups also to see whether you are on the right track. It's just like a physical checkup. We go for physical checkups like every year or 2 years once. Dental checkup twice a year, hopefully. Mental checkup twice a year.
I've never
that's
seen a
something like-
psychologist,
No, I've
Have you
never
guys?
have.
I've
I've
never
seen a psychiatrist. Like when my dad passed away, I just felt like I needed to see a psychiatrist. So
Did he give you any pills?
no.
Okay.
But after I saw him, he's like, Glenn, you'll be okay lah. You don't need to see me anymore.
You're just grieving.
But I just needed to clear a few things, right? So I needed to. I did it on my own. I didn't even tell anyone. I mean, now,
Now you
everything's
are,
fine.
yeah.
Yeah, but I just felt like it was important. It was important to me to know that I would get over it, and I could get over a few of those issues. Yeah, you wanted to give me some drugs as well. I'm like,
Oh, why didn't you just take them? Yeah.
I should have. Huh?
No, but Dr. Jerry, like Glenn chose to go to a psychiatrist. Are those choices very important? Whether we choose psychiatrists over psychologists?
Because she didn't want to see me, that's why.
There are so
She
many others.
can't see
Don't
you.
I always ask her.
Don't blame
I bet
Dr.
Jerry,
Jerry.
come now.
Aiyo.
Let me on your couch.
So, Dr. Jerry, I mean, does it matter?
Psychiatrists are medical doctors,
Yeah.
so they come from the medical school. In Singapore, most of the time they would sit with you and chat with you, but they primarily dish out your medication. So you go to them for medication.
So they're not
Having
there to
said
talk
that-
about feelings, really.
Well, having said that, many of them are also schooled in psychotherapy and some of the counseling therapeutic methods. So they can sit with you, but
Okay.
their time is very, very precious. So they rather port it over to the psychologists or the counselors who would be able to spend at least 50 to 60 minutes with you.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue to talk to Jerry on the Big Show TV. It's 8:23.
No, we go back to trap.
Kiss 92 traffic.
The PIE towards Changi, an accident before Jalan Eunos, congestion to Paya Lebar Road. The TPE towards the PIE, an accident after Punggol Road exit. Look out for that. Please stay within the speed limit. Have everyone buckled up. Be safe as you drive today.
Good morning and welcome back to the Big Show and the Big Show TV. Our guest for today is Dr. Geraldine Tan from the Therapy Room.
Dr. Jerry, do we see any clinical conditions coming with either being introvert or extrovert?
Yeah, so sometimes it's mistaken as introversion when someone has maybe autism. So those on the autistic spectrum disorder, or they have selective mutism, where they find it difficult to articulate. Some of the teens or young people with social anxiety may also say that they are introverted. Yeah, so it can be mistaken, but it might not be. So an introverted person may have anxiety, but someone with social anxiety may not be introverted.
What about extroverts?
For extroverts, so you have mania where they are in the other side of the spectrum, the bipolar, and they are in a manic state, and they're talking to everyone, going to everyone. Someone that is very disinhibited, someone that is drunk.
Ah,
Glenn
Yeah.
last night.
Dead.
Yeah. you looked at me. You just waited for me to say something.
What did you do last night, Glenn? Oh,
don't
dear.
ask.
What do
Don't
you not do?
Party last night.
Someone that has schizophrenia who comes up to you and starts talking, very disinhibited, very irrational. Yeah. Can appear to be extroverted, but may not be extroverted because they have clinical issues.
Okay.
Interesting. Are introverts more susceptible to things like panic and anxiety attacks?
So a lot of introverts who have anxiety. So being an introvert does not mean you will be anxious. I mean, everybody has a little bit of anxiety and worry, but it doesn't mean that you might have a clinical issue. But those with a clinical issue tend to have the panic attacks. So they hyperventilate. Okay, there's a difference between panic attacks and anxiety attacks. So panic attacks come randomly. They you don't know when and how it would hit you. There's no trigger. An anxiety attack has a build up, a slow build up. So let's say there's a presentation 3 days time, your anxiety starts to build up, and then finally on that day itself, you start to feel like, oh, my throat is stuck, I can't breathe, my
Cold
head
feet.
is spinning. Yeah, I'm nauseated, and then you cannot function, or the trembles come. So those are anxiety attacks where you know the source, and it's a gradual build up.
Right. Okay, just very quickly, can Dr. Jerry elaborate on trained extroverts? We've got a WhatsApp message.
Oh,
Trained extrovert.
That'd be a learned extrovert. Right?
learned.
Okay.
Yeah.
learned.
So sometimes we have a learned personality because we require it for work, we require it for like school or in the different environments. So then we train ourselves. So he used the word train. So I'll use the word train, but it's a learned extrovert. So you practice it, you overcome that nervousness when you need to do presentation. You think of a script when you meet someone, what you would say to that someone. So it appears very smooth.
Right.
But it's actually a learned behavior.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
That's a bit
Learned
dangerous,
behavior.
right? And you're a completely
It's okay
different
for-
person
No,
when...
but it's okay for presentations
It's
and
okay
stuff
when
like
you're
that.
doing- yeah.
Or you're an actor, you need to train to be an extrovert and,
Yeah.
for certain situations and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, for example, if Glenn and FD, or you both of you host some a show or something, and you're on stage, live stage, and then you have to come down from the stage, and you'll be surrounded by people. If let's say FD is a little bit more introverted, he will need to practice that scenario
Yeah.
in his head. Think about Is he going to reach out his hand? Is he going to say hi? Is he going to smile? Where is he going to look? So all those are training that you give yourself, practice that you give yourself, so that in that situation, the actions and words come out very smoothly. So when people look at you, they think that you're an extrovert, but actually all these are learned behaviors.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
So to be president of Singapore,
Do you need to be an extrovert?
extrovert or introvert? We'll continue to
Yeah.
talk about this on the Big Show TV. In the meantime, here's Love with Love You Like That on Kiss 92. I mean, because you were talking about Barack Obama earlier on a little bit, right? I mean, he's an extrovert, right?
No, she said
No, he's an introvert.
Oh, is he really?
Barack's an
Yeah.
introvert.
Introvert.
Yes, he's an introvert.
But then becomes an extrovert when he needs to turn it on.
I see him as an...
Because you only see what you see.
Yeah, but you guys have not seen him at home also.
No, have you?
No.
No, yeah, neither
But it's
have I.
based on what we see. Right?
No, you.
No, but that's what Dr. Jerry said.
Yeah.
No, it's not based on what we see.
It's not, yeah.
It's
It's based on who you
each
are.
of us. Yeah, it's based on how we feel.
So, Dr. Jerry, I mean, from where you sit, I asked this earlier, from where you sit and from what you know of us, what do you think the three of us are? I mean, are we introverts? Are we extroverted introverts? Are we
Interesting.
introverted extroverts? You know, like, or are we just plain old extroverts? Like, what do you
I
think?
mean,
of
you've
the
known
three
us
of
a couple of years. Come on.
Yeah, but
It's
we
not
haven't...
a diagnosis.
But I haven't
just-
been on a couch
No,
yet.
you don't need
That's
to be
got
on the
nothing
couch,
to do
right?
with being on a couch.
Because you said it's not a
We-
diagnosis.
So
We
yeah.
haven't
So
really
how
got-
do you see us?
Yeah, straight up.
Oh, so Glenn would be very extroverted,
Okay.
you know, and Glenn, you see him in different spaces, and you have echoed that also, right? He would
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
go up to a person, and there's almost like there's no boundaries. He just
no
he just
boundaries.
melts.
It's true.
Yeah.
You
Okay,
have no
okay.
Glenn
boundaries.
has
I mean
no
it in
boundaries.
this nice. I mean it in the nicest
It's like,
way.
come, let's go.
We
Come
don't.
here.
So FD would be extroverted, but he has a little bit more reservations. He's a little bit more experienced, so he would put a bit more distance and he would observe a bit more. So it doesn't mean that he's introverted, but he might need his time with his family, with friends. He really loves the time with family and friends. So that's the introverted part of him, where his quiet time might not be only alone. It's
Alone,
with
right.
people that are intimate, you know, in his intimate circle. Angel is interesting that you're extroverted, but you're very, very guarded. So that's a different story altogether.
Are
Yeah,
you
so
guarded?
that's how
I think I am, yeah.
Yeah.
we're going on air, and then suddenly we have this therapy session and analysis session.
Off air, see? Off air.
Off
That's
air,
why.
it's okay.
Yeah, but Angel, Angel needs the people around her. She feels, but I'm not sure. Actually, you're quite an enigma to me because
can't
you're
figure it
very
out.
guarded. Yeah. You're extroverted, but there's a lot of the distance. So if I say FD has some distance, yours has even more distance,
Okay.
unless you permit them. Permit people into
come
your
in.
inner circle.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Wow.
That's true.
Wow.
I'm just thinking the way you choose your Facebook friends and all that.
That not everyone is allowed in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kevin Tan has come on our Facebook page and gone, Glenn,
Kevin!
extrovert. No.
Right?
I think Kevin is an extrovert.
Kevin for sure,
well.
extrovert. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
That's why he does all the Insta stories on.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Good morning, everybody.
He needs to be like a host. He needs to have his own like Instagram TV show, you know?
Are you an extrovert?
Now, you
Kev?
need to learn, Kev. You need to learn how to flip your camera sometimes as well. Because he's always like this,
Wow.
right? He's always doing this.
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
he's-
But his signature, is he?
his
his
signature,
signature,
right?
it is.
Maybe
Then
he
his
hasn't.
face will be
I
there.
think he hasn't figured out the button where you can press and flip it. Because I taught him how to use the comments as well. The captions. He's like, oh, I can do that.
How do you flip it from here?
You can. You can. If he's
Hang
on
on, Jerry.
hands-free.
This is technical discussion going on.
Instagram. You can. I'll show
Okay,
you.
there you go.
I'll teach you.
You go give Kev
Give him a
like
lesson.
personal lessons.
Personal lessons.
Oh, so funny.
Okay.
so-
Yes. Anyways, yes. Isn't the intro coming on today?
No,
No,
actually, intro
no.
is coming on next week. So you have till next week right now.
So, Dr. Jerry, you, in your
Little bit more.
notes to us, you're talking about an exercise that we could do.
So yes, but you did it already.
Oh, did we? Oh, the one I did
You
online.
did the online one.
Oh, right,
But
okay.
I guess what we can think of is, whether you're an extrovert or an introvert, think of the spaces, the places that you really thrive in. So that would help you to know yourself a little bit more. And places that you really drag your feet and you don't want to go there. And how do they look like? They are probably similar in nature. So, for an introvert, big networking session, big discussions may be very daunting. So that would be places that they drag their feet. However, it could be small group discussions, one-on-one dialogues that they thrive in. So for ourselves, just think about the different scenarios that we enjoy and we don't enjoy. People that we enjoy being with and people that we are a little bit hesitant or uncomfortable to be with, and just jot it down for ourselves. So it's a little homework for today that we all can just do and get to know ourselves.
Okay, Effie's got his finger.
Yeah, he's very excited.
A small discussion is going on our Facebook page as to what you are, Dr. Jerry. Because you said that it's hard for us to tell whether someone's an introvert and an extrovert because we don't see them in their private lives.
Yes.
So Aloysius and Matthew are beginning to try and figure out what you are. Aloysius says Dr. Jerry must be an extrovert, but Matthew says you are a learnt extrovert. So Dr. Jerry,
I said it on air
what are
just
you?
now already.
Oh,
I said
there
it
you
on
go.
air just now.
No points for you, Matthew.
A learned extrovert.
Okay.
Learnt
And
extrovert.
So innately you're an introvert.
Introvert.
Yes,
Yeah.
which means that I would need to. So when people text me at night, typically I don't answer because I need my time to recharge.
Right. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're constantly the whole day. Your a lot of energy is being sucked from you, right?
It's
Would you
not
say that?
about. No, it's not about that. The same amount of energy that I use in a day for my clinical work can be taken up if I go to a big event.
Oh, right.
That
Okay.
means you go for attention within like a few hours, my battery will deplete really, really fast. So then either I'm stuck with one person because I need to calibrate myself, then I'm recharged again, or I'm by myself, just being quiet for a little while.
Okay. Okay.
I think extroverts should go out with introverts. What do you think?
Is that a good idea? Is that something that people should aim towards? Looking for the complete opposite.
I don't think we purposefully do it. Like I say, we complement each other, and life isn't just about extroverts or introverts. There are so many variables. So even like for the MBTI, you have 4 letters. You had 5 letters. So yeah, it has too many variables. That's why human beings are so amazing, because we
Yeah.
are so dynamic. Yeah, so it doesn't just take extroverts or introverts. It takes a whole lot of other traits to come together
Okay.
and make it work.
Okay, we're gonna go on air. One last talk set, okay, Jerry, and then we'll
Okay.
actually sign off next on air.
Okay.
All right, stand by. Ed Sheeran, Bad Habits, right here on Kiss 92. All the great songs in one place. Thank you so much for having us on this Tuesday morning. Our guest for today is award-winning psychologist, Dr. Geraldine Tan from the Therapy Room. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning from the therapy room.
She's so happy to be on site today.
So we've been talking about extroverts and introverts. Are extroverts better than introverts? Are introverts better than extroverts? Should extroverts go out with introverts?
Ambiverts.
Yeah.
Ambivert.
What happens when you put two extroverts together?
Oh.
Extrovert couples, what happens? They ask each other to shut up.
But what does happen? What does happen when you put two extroverts together? Does that mean a very noisy and argumentative situation?
No, I suppose we all, like I say, there are other variables also. So an extroverted person, so even in your space here, you know, you have three of you who are rather extroverted, doesn't mean that you claw at each other. You don't, you know, but you've learned how to take turns. You've learned how each other's personality, and you enjoy each other's personality.
The clawing only happens on Mondays.
When we have the big show, and Daphne's here, right?
Yeah.
Daphne, and then there's Cheyenne and Shalini as well. You notice it's like we're really
On.
noisy.
Yeah, we're noisy because we all want to get a word in.
I think
right?
all of us are extroverts actually on
To a
this show.
degree, yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah,
to a
including
degree.
Cheyenne and Shalini.
No, absolutely not. Cheyenne and Shalini.
I think they're extroverts.
No,
What do you say, Jerry?
Shalini is definitely introverted.
Introverted for sure.
That's what you all think.
Wait till she goes out with her own friends.
Yeah.
But it's different. So introvert does not mean that they are alone all the time. They actually have a good time with their friends. It's quite interesting because on Sunday, I saw my boy and his friend. His friend didn't want to come and call me at all. He just pretended I was, invisible. So my boy explained to me, oh, my friend is very introverted.
Wow.
Can't even see. So my boy highlighted to me, and I was perfectly fine with that. But when I was walking past them and I just glanced back, they were having a brilliant conversation. They were laughing and they were enjoying themselves. So the introverts can have a good time with their own friends or family who they feel very comfortable with. And that's perfectly fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my mom will call that boy rude.
He's just painfully shy.
I will call that boy rude.
Right?
Yeah, but my son actually explained to me, so I
Which was very cool.
understood.
So you brought your
Yeah.
son up well.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's nice. It's nice that he took the time to explain it to you.
Yeah, because he refused for me to have breakfast with both of them, see. So he had to explain it to me.
Okay.
Like, why? But I would also say that for extroverts and introverts to learn about your learning style for the students and your working style. Because if you are extroverted and you need a lot of people around you, you'll be extremely unproductive if you were given a solitary piece of work and say, please go and research on your own in
a
the back
corner.
room.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be so unproductive. You'll be so tired. You'll be like chatting with your friends because you need to connect, or you're like, I need to go to a pantry. I need to go to the toilet. You'll be distracting yourself. So unproductive. If we look at the flip side, an introvert, if we put them with a big team, they may be unproductive because they cannot function. They need that quiet time to do their own research, and then they can deliver the work quite efficiently to you.
And in
So
the same way, they
know-
get distracted, right, by all the noisy people, then they can't work.
Correct. Yes, they
Yeah.
do. And that's something that they always complain about. So knowing about your styles, your working styles, or your learning styles would be very important.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much, Jerry, for joining us today. Any last words?
Yes, and whatever you are, whether extrovert, ambivert, introvert, a person becomes 10 times more attractive, not by their looks, but by the act of kindness, love, respect, honesty, and loyalty they show. And I don't know
Nice.
who the author is.
But that was good.
So nice. Which means I don't have to go to my dermatologist today then.
Oh, that's true.
Okay, thank you so much, Jerry, for joining us. Have a wonderful week ahead.
I'll see all of you again. Bye-bye.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye. Up next, Rachel Platten. This is Stand By You on KISS 92.
The Big Show. Kiss 92.